You're listening to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonati spine procedures, Alfred Bonati, MD. Once again, here are Dr. Bonati and your host, Kimberly Bermel.
Thank you for joining us for American Medicine Today. I'm Kimberly Bermel, I'm surrounded by. I am surrounded by a great group of gentlemen here. I have that. Ethan Euchre.
I'm happy to be here.
and a female, I won't forget her. Jeff Wagstaff.
Hola, mommy.
World-renowned orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Alfred Bonati of the Bonati Spine Institute.
Hola, mommy.
Josh from WeBeam TV, Ben Jacobson, who's our film crew, and our newest addition, Daisy. Mm-hmm. So she's a great addition to the program. Every week we talk to patients that are being told they need invasive open spine surgery, or they're still getting stuff that's put in traditional open spine surgery, but under the pretense of minimally invasive. It is not minimally invasive to have screws and plates and wire put into your body. There's nothing minimal about that. And in fact, we have patented techniques. The Bonati spine procedures can actually remove that hardware that's been put into people. And when it's been removed, we find that these items are mangled and tangled in the nerves. I mean, it pains me just to talk about it. But you can imagine the excruciating pain that these patients have undergone with these other procedures. A lot of times you hear from our patients, I wish I would have known about you first. Well, we hope that too, and that's part of the reason why we do this show. We have an exciting show lineup for you. We have Yancey Carruthers going to talk about the VA system and how veterans keep dying, and we're trying to figure out what we can do to make that system get better. And then we're going to talk to a former Trump employee. He's not a misogynist, or is he? Make sure you stay tuned because you'll want to know, and you'll have some firsthand experience with this lady coming up. And then, of course, you'll hear what's new in American medicine today. But up first,
in today's Back to Life segment, we will talk to a patient of the Bonati Spine Institute who went from living a life that was restricted by pain and discomfort through their journey of finding the Bonati Spine Institute and are now living pain-free.
It is my pleasure to introduce to the program Marissa Maxey from Galloway, Ohio. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So why don't you tell us your story? I saw your posting on Facebook, and I reached out to you to see if you would participate. So why don't you go ahead and share your story of how you came to be in pain and that process that brought you to Bonati?
Yeah, definitely. So about 8 years ago, I had torn two discs, L3 to L4, L4 to L5.
Okay. And
it really didn't give me much trouble until about November of last year.
All right.
And I think it was just a multitude of things that kind of spiraled. I was traveling a lot for work. I had gained some weight in a master's program. I just wasn't really maintaining my health like I should have.
Sure.
And the pain came back, and it started as just like a lower back pain with some like upper hip, right butt pain, I guess.
Okay.
And we tried traditional methods. My family doctor and I of, physical therapy and taking oral steroids. And,
wow.
At first that provided a little bit of comfort, but the pain just seemed to kind of get worse and travel farther down my leg. And until eventually it did go, all the way down my knee and to my foot.
Wow.
And we were trying, at that point, she referred me to the neurosurgeon. And I saw two neurosurgeons at the university by my house, and they were great, but they wanted to do the traditional open back surgery with the possibility of a fusion, and I just wasn't really wanting to do that, being 32 and a very active person, and
right.
My career requires me to be very active and flexible and travel and all of that, and so I just wasn't really fond of what the recovery period looked like with that traditional surgery and the risks involved.
Okay.
So they told me to try aquatherapy, and I tried aquatherapy. We did a couple of injections, spinal injections, and it just never got better. And finally, the CEO of my company had reached out. Him and his wife had both had procedures done at Bonati that were very successful.
Okay.
And so after a lot of prayer and just thinking about it, I wasn't really sure from a strategic standpoint that my life would, allow me to make it down to Florida to have back surgery. It just seemed a little out of reach. But after speaking with them and working with the patient care coordinator, everything just kind of fell in place, and I ended up scheduling an original surgery. I was going to have it in July.
Okay.
But some things happened, and my back got worse rather quickly. So they were able to move my surgery up to May 11th. So on the 12th of May, I came and did my intake on the 11th. On the 12th of May, I had my first surgery, 04 to 05. I actually had that particular disc had actually ruptured and then broken off, and it was laying down, like pinching off my spinal cord and nerves.
Oh my gosh!
Which caused that had happened probably a week before I got down to Bonati, but my entire right leg had gone numb and causing just excruciating pain down the right side of my body, and like muscle spasms and basically every kind of pain sensation you can think of.
Was your pain affecting the way that you sleep, that you did your daily activities? I mean, I know you said that the pain traveled all different areas of your body, and it sounds like a quite debilitating pain. Was it affecting sleep for you as well?
Yeah, I mean, I was able to function, but only because I was on painkillers. I was taking Percocet since November of last year, which I don't ever take any medication other than ibuprofen, so that was kind of detrimental in my job, required me to really be a critical thinker. So that was really hard for me, but I would have to, before I even got out of bed in the morning, I would have to take my medication and lay there for 30 minutes or so and let it kick in before I could even get out of bed.
I have to say, by the way that you're talking, my guess is even though you had friends that were helped by the Bonati Spine Institute and you knew that their procedures were successful, you were still skeptical, weren't you, when you walked in?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, this was a pain that I really didn't think anything, could take away. And I guess really my skepticism kind of left me whenever I walked in the door at Bonati.
Okay.
Everybody there was extremely confident in their skill set, and they just were genuinely caring, and they just gave you the feeling that they wanted to help you, and they knew that they could help you. And that was definitely not something I got from the other places that I have went. It was, well, it's up in the air, it could go one way, it could go the other way. They just really didn't make you feel comfortable, and it's such a scary decision and to have back surgery to begin with. So their confidence really made me confident, and I really appreciated that about their approach to healthcare.
Now, did you watch your procedure? Because we had that conscious IV sedation. So did you watch?
I watched the very end. Like I said, I don't take much, so a little bit of the conscious sedation knocked me out.
It affects everyone differently, yes.
Right, but she was able, she woke me up both surgeries, and you look over and the screen's there to your right, and I was able to see what they were doing, and they guided me through everything, which that's a scary moment in itself to kind of see inside your back. But it really, even though it should be a scary moment, it really wasn't, because they made you feel extremely comfortable and walked you through and talked you through everything.
See, now I understand where you're coming from, because I too had the Bonati spine procedures, and I watched, and it separates you from that moment a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you have a loved one in there with you at the time?
She didn't go in, but my sister came down and spent the week with me, and she was involved in every aspect of it except for watching the surgery, which now she says she probably would have watched, but then she didn't.
Let me ask, when did you feel a relief of the pain that brought you in? I mean, obviously you're going to have surgical site pain, but that excruciating pain that caused you to seek treatment, when did you feel that go away?
Oh my God, it was instantly. It was the craziest, most awesome experience really of my life, because you have this pain and you think and you fight it for so long. And what they do is they tell you, we're going to have you do a position that duplicates the pain while you're awake. I'm like, okay. So we found the position before she gave me the drugs, which didn't take anything from me. All it took was me raising my legs off the table for that, like, really excruciating pain to start. That nerve pain is it's indescribable.
Did you?
When they told me to duplicate that position in my mind, I was like, I really didn't want to feel it, I didn't want to do it. I was like, I'm sure, like, they haven't fixed it. I was still skeptical. And when I raised my legs and I didn't feel that pain, I can't even describe the feeling. Like, it was the most awesome experience. And really, they probably thought I was crazy because I was praying and praising God for them and their, skill set and everything, because they truly do miracles, and I'm so appreciative.
Marissa, we're up against a break, but I want to kind of finish this segment by asking you, after going through the procedure at the Bonati Spine Institute, would you feel comfortable telling friends, family, coworkers, loved ones, if they were suffering the same problems you were, to head down to Bonati?
Oh, absolutely, and I've already done so. Anybody that has back pain should go see them, or at least do the initial consultation to get a review of what is truly going on.
Oh, well, thank you so much. You have such an incredible story to tell. Thank you for sharing it with all of us here on American Medicine Today. Make sure you stay in touch. We love the photos.
Oh, great. All right. Thank you so
Thanks,
much
Marissa.
for having me, and good luck with everything. I really appreciate it.
All right, have a great day.
Thank you. Take care.
You
too.
Bye-bye.
It's a prime example of the good work they do each and every day at the Bonati Spine Institute. If that story sounds familiar, like what you're going through, reach out at Bonati.com or call 855-267-0483. Coming up after the break, you're going to hear more. Make sure you stay tuned. Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
This is the first time that I am pain-free after 18 years, and it's just wonderful. I love it.
Phenomenal results, no pain whatsoever.
My pain is virtually gone, nothing short of a miracle.
Those surgeries gave me my life back.
Already I feel like a new person.
I'm going home new. I can chase my grandbaby now, I can garden, I can cook, and I'm really thrilled. The outcome has been remarkable.
I feel 100% better.
It's like a miracle.
It was phenomenal. It literally did change my life.
I was in a wheelchair at that time, and I left here walking.
Every single pain that I had when I came here is gone.
I'm ready to go home and feel great. This place is great. Thank you.
Everything that they said they would do, they have done, and I'm very, very satisfied and happy with those results.
I knew in surgery, in fact I told the surgeon when he relieved the pain off the nerve.
The pain is gone. I'm feeling wonderful.
I have no pain. I feel better than I felt in 4 years from the surgery. It was almost immediate relief.
Today I am totally pain-free, which is just amazing. It's fantastic.
It definitely works. I mean, I really don't know what else to tell you. I'm happy.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
You're listening to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonati spine procedures, Alfred Bonati, MD. Once again, here are Dr. Bonati and your host, Kimberly Brumell.
Thanks for continuing to listen to American Medicine Today. I'm Kimberly Brumell, joined by my friend Ethan Euchre.
Glad to be here.
My other friend, Jeff Wagstaff.
Hello, friend.
And a mentor, Alfred Bonati of the Bonati Spine Institute. Thanks for being here.
That makes me too old.
No.
To be a mentor, you're a mentor to all of us, Doc. Trust me.
This guest that's on, we keep seeing the continued debacle with the VA. The failure of the VA system is something that we've discussed at length for years now on this show. But how much has really been done, and what more can we really be doing? Well, joining us right now is Yancey Carruthers, U.S. Army retired medic and trauma nurse and author of Northwest of Eden. He's on to discuss the broken VA system as well as the problem of veterans' suicide. That really should not be happening, especially in the numbers, staggering numbers. Thank you for being here, Yancey.
Thanks for having me on.
Now, let's start with, we'll get to the VA issues. Let's start with veteran suicide. I know there have been several viral video campaigns to try to raise awareness, like the 22 kill, 22 push-ups a day, things like that. It's supposed to bring attention to the fact that 22 veterans kill themselves every single day. Explain the scope of this problem.
Right, and even 22 a day, that number is not exactly accurate. That's the best number we have. It's based on a study that was done in 2012 that included data that was self-reported from 34 states. It includes not just modern veterans, but veterans of all ages from all of the living wars. But now, something interesting about this is that because of these 34 states, 2 of the 16 that were not included are Texas and California. So if you think about that for a second, these are states that have not just large concentrations of people, but high percentages of veteran populations as well. So we really don't know the nature of how big the problem is. But I know that 1 is too much. 22, 32, whatever. 1 is too many, and I want it stopped.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers are so ridiculously high that I think just about everybody knows somebody. I personally know 2 people. A friend I grew up with hung himself. Another one, the brother of my brother's wife killed himself. Vet. They got a lot of issues going on. I mean, what can we ask the government to do to help, if anything?
Well, the first thing I think is to understand a little bit about, I know it's hard to get into the side of a mind of a person who has made the decision to end his or her own life. But at the same time, I would imagine that these people feel unsupported. They feel like there's no one there for them. I mean, maybe this is a financial issue, maybe it's a family issue. I think healthcare is one of those issues, too. I mean, if you can imagine a 3-legged stool that is your life, if you pull one of those legs off, then the other 2 are not going to hold it up. So, I mean, I think the government has some degree of responsibility for fixing this broken VA system that we have. And I mean, and I don't want to trash the VA in general, because there are tons of wonderful people, the people that I have direct interaction with, that care a lot about their jobs.
Right.
I mean, so we can't just take the broad brush and paint the whole thing. At the same time, the captain of the ship, Secretary McDonald, 2 years after he was hired to fix the problem of veteran wait times, gets on TV and notwithstanding the ridiculous analogy to waiting in line for Space Mountain at Disney World to get medical care, I think we missed even a bigger part of that debacle, of his gaffe there, because what that shows is that he's really still out of touch with the fact that veterans are still waiting.
Yes,
and that's what we've got to fix. We've got to fix the wait.
But they're losing their lives. They're not just waiting to have a joyride. I mean, these are people's lives on the line. What a callous statement he made.
You're absolutely right. And while I kind of get his analogy that we do want to focus on the quality of the experience,
right?
He's absolutely right. Veterans deserve quality health care. But he's just almost brushing to the side the idea that veterans have to wait. I'll give you a real-world example.
Right.
This Monday, I went into the VA to have some treatment for a medical condition, required me to see a specialist. It's one of those things that I probably should get taken care of in the next week or so, but it's not necessarily something that I need to hang up the phone right now and go to the hospital for.
Okay.
It was going to take me until August the 30th to get an appointment with a specialist. And I said, well, that's ridiculous. If I can wait until August the 30th, I don't actually need anybody.
Correct.
It's okay if I can make it another 3 months without requiring medical intervention. I don't need you at all. And they said, well, we only have one urologist here, and he's only able to see people so quickly. And I said, all right, well, fine. I'm just telling you that's unacceptable. To VA's credit, I have some wonderful people on my primary care team. They realized that this was not going to work.
Right.
And they pulled out all the stops and were able to arrange for me to get medical care locally.
Right.
But I know that there are a lot of people out there that that maybe don't have that kind of advocate on their team.
Mm-hmm.
I think what we have a problem on the whole discussion that I'm hearing today. I see that the 22 fantastic veterans that we owe them the freedom on this country are dying every day. If you look at this, in 1 year, we have more veterans dead than the veterans that we lost, the soldiers that we lost on Afghanistan. So the problem is, and this is in 1 year, the major trouble is the callous behavior of the politicians. I understand that there are certain doctors or there are certain personnel or there are certain people that they try to help the vets in the Veterans Administration hospitals. The Veterans Administration hospital is a piece of trash. Should be totally refused to continue treating veterans. The veterans should have some type of an access directly to the national health care. They should not be attached to the government at all. The government is trying to pass another type of a trick. It's trying to attach the Veteran Administration, the veterans to a Medicare type of a service or Medicaid type of a service. That is another governmental piece of garbage. These people are going to now go to Medicare or Medicaid. Doctors are not going to receive these veterans because the amount of income that they are going to pay to those doctors is so minimal that they are going to make them wait also. So this needs to go with a normal insurance system. So the veterans will have a type of a insurance like United Healthcare or Cigna, who are, to me, that I see patients every single day, and I need to receive these patients coming to me. And because the business of medicine has one part of business and one part of art, the part of business require to maintain personnel and people competent and to be able to help the people. If you start to get Medicare and Medicaid people, they're going to be treated in the same way that they are treating in Veterans Administration. They need to go to a private, good insurance in this country. That's what these veterans deserve. And we need to push for that.
Almost out of time, Yancey. So quick rebuttal.
Well, I may not agree with you. We got to, what you're making the point about is that the VA is a broken system, and we've got to figure out a way to get people out of that system or fix the system.
Yes. But bureaucrats in Washington are not going to be the people to fix the system, like that ass jack that was in front of Congress the other day.
Absolutely.
Yancey, Dr. Bonati donates his Bonati spine procedures to help wounded warriors all the time. So he tries to do what he can.
Huge supporter of the vets.
To help the people that are putting their lives on the line. And it's such an injustice for the government to be doing to them what they're doing by making them wait. Surely, as they're representing our freedoms in all these other countries and our own and protecting everyone, why is it they put them on a wait list for help is beyond me. Thank you so much for your book, Northwest of Eden, and your knowledge from being a U.S. Army retired medic and trauma nurse. Thank you for bringing this to light and talking about the plethora of suicides from veterans.
And thank you for your service. Yancey
Thank
Carruthers,
you.
thank you,
Yes.
sir.
Thanks for having me on, and thank you guys for doing everything that you do. We've all got to do our part.
All right, have a good one. Thanks, Yancey. All right. It's a heavy topic, for sure.
A very heavy topic. But Dr. Bonati, you do bring up a valid point, as well as Yancey Carruthers. Coming up, we're going to speak to a former Trump employee. So make sure you stay tuned. You're listening to American Medicine Today. Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
This is the first time that I am pain-free after 18 years. And it's just wonderful. I love it.
Phenomenal results. No pain whatsoever.
My pain is virtually gone. Nothing short of a miracle.
Those surgeries gave me my life back.
Already, I feel like a new person.
I'm going home new. I can chase my grandbaby now. I can garden. I can cook. And I'm really thrilled. The outcome's been remarkable.
I feel 100% better.
It's like a miracle.
It was phenomenal. It literally did change my life.
I was in a wheelchair at that time, and I left here walking.
Every single pain that I had when I came here is gone.
I'm ready to go home and feel great. This place is great. Thank you.
Everything that they said they would do, they have done, and I'm very, very satisfied and happy with those results.
I knew in surgery, in fact, I told the surgeon when he relieved the pain off the nerve.
The pain is gone. I'm feeling wonderful.
I have no pain. I feel better than I felt in 4 years from the surgery. It was almost immediate relief.
Today I am totally pain-free, which is just amazing. It's fantastic.
It definitely works. I mean, I really don't know what else to tell you. I'm happy.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
You're listening to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonati spine procedures, Alfred Bonati, MD. Once again, here are Dr. Bonati and your host, Kimberly Bermel.
Thanks for joining us on American Medicine Today. I'm Kimberly Bermel, joined by Ethan Euchre.
Always happy to be here.
Jeff Wagstaff.
Hello, Kimberly.
Hello. And across from me is world-renowned orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Alfred Bonati of the Bonati Spine Institute. Now, we are extremely excited because
Hey, Doc. What's up, Doc?
this is a topic that is very close to Dr. Bonati's heart because he's a huge Trump supporter.
Oh.
And, so much has been said about Donald Trump being a misogynist, being a woman hater, not to mention the accusations that he despises immigrants. I personally don't believe any of that.
I don't either.
But we found someone who can address both sides of the issue, and her name is Sanada Azam. And she's the former vice president at Trump International and worked directly with Donald for 4 years. So not only is she female, but she's also a Bosnian immigrant.
Interesting.
So who better, really, to talk about these allegations? Thank you for joining us, Sanada.
Thank you so much for having me.
I mean, Sanada, you got to tell us, it must have been just terrible working for such an anti-immigrant, anti-female guy, right?
For 4 years.
Must have been terrible
Torture.
to work for 4 years.
Oh, it was awful. I'm just kidding. It was a phenomenal opportunity. I mean, I had come from war-torn Bosnia, survived many sniper bullets and grenades, and came to America with to live the American dream. So I came to study and got an opportunity to work for one of Mr. Trump's co-development partners. Started as an analyst, worked my tail off until I eventually managed to become VP of marketing. So what I can tell you from my experience is that he does not discriminate based on gender, based on nationality. He only discriminates based on performance. If you do a phenomenal job, he will give you every opportunity there is. If you do a terrible job, he will fire you on the spot. So it's very simple. He's a businessman.
I was going to say, isn't that how it should be?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I personally think so.
Yeah.
Well, Zenaida, some of the information that we received prior to talking to you today said that Donald Trump taught you the secrets to his success. So share with us some of the secrets that you learned from Donald.
First and foremost is really leveraging media. He is one of the most brilliant marketers you can ever meet. He understands what it takes to get people's interest, to get people's attention, to get people excited about something. And we've seen that over the past quite a few months with him securing the Republican nomination. And I think that was the most important lesson, how to leverage media, how to brand yourself, and how a little controversy is not so bad.
Correct.
Because you will become the most talked about topic, and he's very well used to during his political career and so far.
I don't understand why people are so thin-skinned. I guess it's all this political correctness, and then when you tell the truth, it can be eye-opening for sure. But some people keep talking about this mean-spirited bully that Trump is, and I go, he has just ripped the layers back of political correctness and is finally being frank with everyone and telling them he doesn't want this governmental BS anymore. He's done with it.
You said it very eloquently, Kimberly. And I think what's happened here is that most people don't realize the context. When you work and succeed within the New York real estate development market, which is fiercely competitive, it means you obviously have done well for yourself. But that's the world that he comes from.
Correct.
And he's so used to going against big developers. We're talking about big money, big egos.
Sure.
And that's how he's used to playing the game. He's very aggressive. When he goes in the ring, be it political arena or business arena, he's very aggressive, and many people get offended.
Right.
They're not used to someone who doesn't say things diplomatically, if you will, and he just goes for what he wants to do, which is to win. And in this case, he obviously has gotten some very bad press over the fact that he said things what he thought and how he thought it, but they were not diplomatically correct. So having a business person in the political arena, I think, will raise a lot of eyebrows, and he's gotten a lot of criticism over the things he said. But at the end of the day, what I can tell you from my professional experience is that he has good intentions. He does believe in basically improving this country, improving the economy, standing up for many people. But his approach is not your typical approach, and that's what's happened.
Senata, let me tell you what I really see on this reaction of the individuals that they are against him. One group are the people that they want to get everything for free, and he's not going to give anybody for free. They're going to need to work, and if they don't work, they're going to starve. And I love that one. And you have another group that they are practically prostituting the system. They are individuals that they take the illegals in certain way for their own benefit, and they don't want to lose that. They get this global type of an approach for business that they are till their ears on it. They don't want to lose those millions. Then these two groups are so against Trump. The beauty of this is the United States citizen understand that. And at the same time that they understand that, they know that one group is going to fight him to death because they don't want to lose all these benefits that they have in one side, because otherwise it's totally, to me, an understanding. I cannot believe that somebody say, I am a Republican, and attack him, because that is the least this is practically impossible to be a Republican and attack Trump, because he's trying to improve the country.
Yes.
He's trying to give business to the country, and he's trying to stop the abuse that happens on the market and in the other nations and inside of our own country. So is really very, very, very nice what you're saying. But the most important thing is we need to understand why those two groups are against him all the time.
Because he's not part of the good old boy network, you know?
Exactly.
He's not a politician.
And keep in mind, he's breaking the golden rule set by the gold standard of the Republican Party, Ronald Reagan. Thou shalt not insult fellow Republicans. Tearing each other down does nothing to build up the party.
He has changed politics forever. And he's the American dream. He really is. You have to have certain goals to obtain to give yourself self-worth. If everything is spoon-fed to you and handed to you, why do you even get up in the morning?
Mm-hmm. Sunita, question. Yeah. We're seeing in the press two images of Mr. Trump emerging over the last couple of weeks. And I've had fun discussing this with Dr. Bonatti on the show over the last few months. But the public persona of Donald is loud, is a little obnoxious, it's brash, he's egotistical.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
He's saying the
totally
truth.
Perceived that way.
He's saying the truth. You cannot. No.
Whether it's the truth or not.
When you go,
well,
and you're gonna. I know what you're trying to say.
Hold on, you're gonna like
I know
what
I'm going to cut you there because I don't believe that is true.
But Zenaida, what they're also saying is, and even Paul Ryan said this in the news yesterday.
Oh my God, Paul Ryan!
Behind the scenes, when Donald Trump is meeting with the Republican establishment, they say he's very diplomatic, very intelligent, very well thought out. So it almost sounds like that bravado is a little bit of a show for the cameras. What's your personal experience?
Well, from my personal experience, and that was 4 years of running several projects that amounted to $1 billion worth of sellouts, what I can tell you is that Mr. Trump has a very particular strategy, and his strategy is always to win. He is very unpredictable, and I think, be it people from the Republican or Democratic side, they will admit that they are very concerned about the fact that he is unpredictable. So we've seen that lately because they don't know what he's going to say next, what he's going to do, and that brings a lot of fear, be it to the Republican Party or to even undecided voters. Mm-hmm. And many people have expressed their concerns over it. What I can tell you is that that's part of his strategy. He has very clear outcomes in mind. He's always on purpose. Mm-hmm. The first thing I will tell you that I learned when I started working at Trump International was that I had to start from the end in whatever I communicated. And what that really meant was you have to get to the point within the first 5 to 10 seconds, otherwise you lose everyone's attention. And he believes that people have very short attention spans. There's a lot of things competing, for their time and attention. And he always gets to the point. And it's gotten a lot of people very discombobulated. And having just recently returned from London, I can always go back to Europe and tell you, sort of get a feel how people are feeling there. And they said the same thing. They're concerned that Mr. Trump is very unpredictable. But all I'm going to tell you, it's based on my experience, that's part of his strategy. He loves that because his opponents, and that's how he sees them, regardless of who they are, cannot predict what his next steps are.
But did you see a very different Donald Trump behind the scenes, more refined, more dignified?
A lovable teddy bear, if you will.
He is definitely not a teddy bear. He is very tough. Yeah. He will tell you how it is, and he's very composed at all times.
Yeah,
everyone knew.
I not only agree on that, but at the same time respect that. He is not the person who changed. The problem is he has a very little time to be able to tell somebody off. And every time that he attacks somebody first they attack him, and then or they create some type of a problem that is not accepted by his management of his own problems. So that is why he attacks. Mm-hmm. And when he attacks, it's destructive. That's it.
He attacks because that's how he is in terms of his business style. But what I can tell you from a professional viewpoint, he never drank meaning he despises anything that will distract you. He's always on purpose. He's very composed. He's always on point. So the whole unpredictability or brashness are actually part of the strategy. That's what most people don't understand about him, and that's why I think he's gotten so far in the political arena, because it's worked very well for him in the developing world.
It's certainly working, for sure.
Thank you so much. Sanada Azam, former vice president.
Thanks for having me.
Former vice president at Trump International, who worked directly with Donald Trump for 4 years. Thank you so much for joining us on the program and shedding light on this ongoing debate. Is Trump worthy of being president or not?
Thanks, Sanada.
He is, absolutely.
We believe he is.
You have no question
Have a
about
good
it.
one. I think she's gone. All right.
That whole topic I love, and who better to hear it from than someone that worked with him
Somebody
for
who lived it.
4 years. Make sure you stay tuned. We'll be back on the flip side of the break. You're listening to American Medicine Today.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
This is the first time that I am pain-free after 18 years. And it's just wonderful. I love it.
Phenomenal results. No pain whatsoever.
My pain is virtually gone. Nothing short of a miracle.
Those surgeries gave me my life back.
Already, I feel like a new person.
I'm going home new. I can chase my grandbaby now. I can garden. I can cook. And I'm really thrilled. The outcome has been remarkable.
I feel 100% better.
It's like a miracle.
It was phenomenal. It literally did change my life.
I was in a wheelchair at that time, and I left here walking.
Every single pain that I had when I came here is gone.
I'm ready to go home and feel great. This place is great. Thank you.
Everything that they said they would do, they have done, and I'm very, very satisfied and happy with those results.
I knew in surgery, in fact, I told the surgeon when he relieved the pain off the nerve.
The pain is gone. I'm feeling wonderful.
I have no pain. I feel better than I felt in 4 years from the surgery. It was almost immediate relief.
Today I am totally pain-free, which is just amazing. It's fantastic.
It definitely works. I mean, I really don't know what else to tell you. I'm happy.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
You're listening to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonati spine procedures, Alfred Bonati, MD. Once again, here are Dr. Bonati and your host, Kimberly Brumell.
Thanks for joining us on American Medicine Today. I'm Kimberly Brumell, joined by Ethan Euchre.
Glad to be here.
Jeff Wagstaff.
Thank you for having me, Kimberly.
And world-renowned orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Alfred Bonati of the Bonati Spine Institute.
Hi.
Now, in this particular segment, we want to address the folks that reach out to us on Facebook on the Bonati Spine Institute page. We have people that bring up a slew of questions, and we're going to start by a mother. Her name is Jennifer, and she had asked, do your doctors and staff know about Ehlers-Danlos syndrome associated with POTS? And she said, this is a must. I'm looking for my son who has multiple spinal disorders and hip dysplasia. So, Dr. Bonati, can
Dysplasia.
Dysplasia. Okay, she said displeasure. So, but
well, I'm sure it's causing displeasure. So
blame the autocorrect.
Right. But why don't you go on to address that?
The Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is a problem associated with the way that the body creates the connective tissue.
Okay.
And the connective tissue, when we talk about the connective tissue, we're talking about muscles, we're talking about ligaments, we talk about bone structures.
Sure.
So, and affect different areas. One of the areas that is affected is the skin. And then these people are with a very light and very fragile skin. So you touch these people and sometimes they bleed immediately.
Got it.
They also have, because of that light skin, they also have very light sclera. Then the eyes, they look very, very light blue.
Okay.
And they are very sensitive to the light. The other problems are affecting the spine. And when they affect the spine, they create, because the weakness of the ligaments there and the bone structures and the muscles, then the body just accommodates to forces. Right. And then they develop kyphosis or they develop scoliosis, the most frequent scoliosis. And also because of the damage of the structures, when you start to put weight or things like that, they affect the hips or the knees, and there are these changes in those areas. They affect the possibilities of the individual who suffered this to be able to ambulate. And if they try, sometimes the hips dislocate. And it's very frequent, the dislocation on the shoulders and on the hips and on the knees, because the tissues are so fragile. If you, the tissues are so the elasticity of the tissue is it goes beyond the normality. And then, for example, if you grab your hand and you pull your hand all the way to the back, you can touch the back of the hand.
So it overextends.
Overextends.
Okay.
Yeah. So. And that creates dislocations.
Wow.
So the problem with this is also painful.
I bet.
But there are different types of Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And the most frequent is the one that we call classic. That is the one that I'm trying to describe right now. But there are associated other ones. And one of the problems that I think Jennifer is asking is the problem that is associated with a vascular type of Ehlers-Danlos syndrome.
All right.
That is a little problem because the vessels are very, very, they are affected, the structure of the vascularity.
Okay.
So arteries and veins are very poorly resistant to pressures and things like that.
So they're very fragile as well.
They're very fragile. Yeah. And then what happens is those ones, the arteries, they have different layers of muscles and structures there that the whole connective tissue is being placed by layers. And if these layers of the connective tissue they are very soft, then you develop sometimes aneurysms or develop sometimes fragility on those vessels. And then or sometimes the vessel, the internal part of the vessel, the intima of the vessel can separate.
And Doc, the more you talk, the more I feel for this young man. Well, what can you do? Can you do things to help him or at least give him a better quality of life?
Well, the problem is, I'm so sorry to tell Jennifer that there's no cure for this.
Right.
And is whatever you do is composed with medications and sometimes be very careful with the blood pressure because the blood pressure, if it increase, will dissect the arteries, and one of the arteries can be dissected is the aorta, and if that happens, the thing can blow and
bleed out.
Bleed out, yes. And it's a very, very painful type of a relationship because the mother and the son, because she needs to be constantly aware of blood pressure, and the treatments are only medications. They are sometimes physical therapy. But when you do physical therapy, you need to be very careful that they don't go into some excessive physical therapy. It's a very gentle physical therapy to remove some of the pains.
Wow.
And the other one is the problems. The major problem is because when she's talking about this postural type of a problem, because it seems to be that she described that the son needs to be in a flat position. And that's exactly what's happening. When she tried to stand her up or so, he immediately loses his conscience or becomes dizzy or becomes a problem. Right. And when that happens, then she's worried about what to do. Well, what to do is that when standing up, the arteries cannot pump the blood well, so is immediately with a situation that is going to pass out. And if the blood pressure goes higher, they can blow the artery. And if the blood pressure goes lower, he's going to pass out. So sorry for Jennifer. I am really sorry to tell you that this is a cross that you need to go with. It's nothing that you can do, at least in this stage. And surgery, I do not advise you if he has scoliotic problem or not. The scoliosis is painful, but if you try to operate the scoliosis, it's extremely risky, so don't do it.
Well, our thoughts and prayers certainly go out to that family.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much for your question.
I know we actually had a couple more, but we ran out of time.
Yeah.
So.
That about wraps up the show for American Medicine Today, at least here on the flagship station, News Radio 970 WFLA. But if you're listening on one of our affiliates, make sure you continue to listen because we'll be back with some exclusive information just for you. Check us out on Bloomberg every week nationally and here on WFTS ABC 28.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.
This is the first time that I am pain-free after 18 years. And it's just wonderful. I love it.
Phenomenal results. No pain whatsoever.
My pain is virtually gone. Nothing short of a miracle.
Those surgeries gave me my life back.
Already, I feel like a new person.
I'm going home new. I can chase my grandbaby now. I can garden. I can cook. And I'm really thrilled. The outcome's been remarkable.
I feel 100% better.
It's like a miracle.
It was phenomenal. It literally did change my life.
I was in a wheelchair at that time and I left here walking.
Every single pain that I had when I came here is gone.
I'm ready to go home and feel great. This place is great. Thank you.
Everything that they said they would do, they have done, and I'm very, very satisfied and happy with those results.
I knew in surgery, in fact, I told the surgeon when he relieved the pain off the nerve.
The pain is gone. I'm feeling wonderful.
I have no pain. I feel better than I felt in 4 years from the surgery. It was almost immediate relief.
Today I am totally pain-free, which is just amazing. It's fantastic.
It definitely works. I mean, I really don't know what else to tell you. I'm happy.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail.